Episode 3, The Future of Paradise. Show. Dird, Aaliyah, Apuesta, Palti, and Myron were standing in front of a huge tree in the jungle. The tree was a transfer device that led to the place Show had used as a base during the war. Originally, there were restrictions on its use, but since it was now an emergency, the restrictions were lifted, and everyone was able to use the device smoothly. Karusha, on the other hand, was on her way to another location to do her job. So Show and the others arrived at the base, the place where Minamata was waiting. There, on a huge 3D video monitor, they saw images of space. And there was a large ship that seemed to be the flagship, and a number of smaller ships surrounding it, forming a fleet, just like Show had seen in a science fiction movie. Minamata-san, what is this? Minamata gave a small nod to Show, who forgot to blink in surprise. Then, from the monitor image, a voice that seemed to belong to them reached them. Attention, people of Earth and Banjo Island. This war has already ended, and our country is now in order. All future matters will be decided by us within our own country, and we will run the country. Therefore, we have no intention of being interfered in our internal affairs by unrelated people from Earth. If Kokoma Show still wants to come up to space, we will not hesitate to engage in combat. Our demands are that Kokoma Show relinquish his representation and transfer it to us, that he vacates Banjo Island, and that we be stationed there. We will wait for about an hour for a response to our negotiations. If there is no response in the meantime, we will immediately launch an armed invasion of Banjo Island. I repeat, Earth. His voice was domineering, and it was clear to Show that he had no intention of listening to what Show had to say. Nearby, P and Pio were chirping as if in protest. Staring at the image, Minamata spoke to Show and the others. It's like, where's the negotiation? But we've been getting these unilateral notices for a while. They are probably a rebel group formed by disgruntled members of the guilds. But in terms of strength, they are quite numerous. Just from what I can confirm, about 30% of all the guilds have gathered. Show and the others were shocked by Minamata's words. However, Dird was the only one who didn't seem to understand what was going on. What? What? What do you mean? She was confused. Aaliyah speaks to her in a dumbfounded manner. They're saying that if we don't listen to them, they'll come here to rampage. You're a roughneck among pirates. They didn't like the way the war was settled, did they? They're going to stage a coup, is that it? That's right, Apuesta. Once the war was settled and the country's appearance was in order, they probably didn't like Show, the winner, so they decided to go all out. Dird gasped at Palti's words, but Show was equally confused. So, they're trying to take the entire planet hostage. But Minamata-san, this is Jurai's direct territory, right? Isn't there a defense force? Palti looked at Minamata with sullen eyes, to which Minamata quickly replied. As of the end of this battle, Earth has been incorporated into a new nation that includes the Pirate Guild. That's why Earth's defense forces were actually evacuated from the planet at the start of this battle. My Kamadake unit is also at the GP headquarters now. I'm not allowed to enter the solar system until the new system is in place, and I'm allowed to be stationed there. Oh no. So, we can't even call for help. In other words, it's what they call interference in our internal affairs. Either way, they're already in the solar system. Even if we call for help, it won't be in time. Show and the others were shocked by this fact, and Palti continued to speak. But, I can't believe they're suddenly entering our solar system. Perhaps they were infiltrating the solar system little by little to avoid detection by us. So, you're saying they've been waiting for this fight to be over for some time? But while it seems to be a good thing that Show got the representation, what the hell were they going to do if another guild got it? Earth is a special place. By nature, contact with early civilizations is strictly regulated. Up until now, Jurai has been responsible for that, but once the new government is established, that responsibility will fall on the new government. Moreover, if it is the hometown of the current Jurai Emperor's first wife, her descendants will also be living there. I see. If they're going to make enemies of the Galactic Federation and Jurai, there's certainly a reason to hold this place hostage. Oh no. Show was appalled by the exchange between Minamata and Palti. In other words, they were restraining themselves. They are trying to restrain him, and if he doesn't listen to them, they would invade this Earth, Banjo Island. Me Minamata-san. What are we supposed to do? And when Minamata slurred his words. Arg. You've got to be kidding me. It was Myron, who had been silent until now, who shouted. She stalked over to the monitor, took the liberty of fiddling with the control panel that Minamata was operating, and turned on the mic, which was attached to it. Hey, you guys. We're in the middle of a marriage proposal, and it's the best moment of our lives. And you guys are ruining it. What's with the armed invasion? Let's do it. Let's see if you can come, you stupid insurgents. Whoa. Miss Myron, how dare you? A panicked Minamata stopped Myron by grabbing her from behind. However, her earlier words would have already reached the pirates. Moreover, at that moment, the voice of yet another person suddenly flowed from one of the monitors. Well said. That's the spirit of a representative of a new nation. Banjo Island is yours, you can have it. It was a female voice that Sho had never heard before. But Minamata knew who it was. He was holding his head in his hands. Sho was puzzled. Sho said in confusion, Me Minamata-san? I don't know, the way you're talking right now is similar to Myron-sensei's sense that we shouldn't get involved. I guess everyone felt that way. The air in the place froze. And then, negotiations have broken down. Then there's no need to wait an hour. We're heading to Earth immediately. And then, the voice was cut off. Silence. Then a shivering Minamata shouted loudly into the monitor. Please don't complicate this conversation. The owner of the voice, probably a woman, laughed without any offense. Oh, I'm just trying to save you the trouble of having to deal with those people someday. It's called birth pains, isn't it? You predicted their coup from the beginning, didn't you? That's why all the defense forces, including Tenchi-senpai, were sent outside too. Oh ho ho. Everyone's relaxing in Jurai, watching the game. Well, you can use all of the forces on Banjo Island. Oh, I see. Please give my regards to. Holding his temples, Minamata cut off the transmission with a sigh. Then he turned to Sho and the others and said apologetically, I'm sorry. That's how it happened. And Sho and the others, whose understanding had finally caught up with the contents of the communication, changed their expressions. What? Are you really going to attack us? Or does that mean we're going to fight them ourselves? Muyo. Because Sensei said something unnecessary. Hey, what are you going to do about Myron? It's too tough for our strength. Sensei, we can't fight that fleet with. Payo. Oh, you're so annoying. All right. Why don't you talk to me again? After being accused by P and Payo, Myron called for communication again, and after confirming that the other side agreed to respond, she raised her voice at the mic. Wait a minute. You're going to attack this outlying planet with a fleet like that? I intend to, but... Hey, you coward. You know what kind of military power we have. Do I know? This is not a game. This is a battle, a war. That's what you just agreed to, didn't you? Oh, that was just a temper tantrum. Then end the transmission. If you surrender, I'll accept the next transmission. Mumbles. The communication was cut off again. The pirate sneers were the last thing that remained, and it was clear that they were underestimating us. Hey, Mookie. What the hell is wrong with those guys? Myron angrily kicked the control panel away, but the damage was done to her leg, and she crouched down, holding her foot. Wait, hey Myron-sensei, what are you really going to do about this? We're going to have to fight those people? How much of a power gap do you think we have? There's no way we can win. Sensei said something unnecessary. Huh? Oh yeah, I may or may not have said something like that. Myron, who looked away, was grinning for some reason, and Dird and the others pressed on. Oh, you said something like that. Sure. Hey Myron, what did you mean? Sensei, Sho, what do you mean? You should reveal the truth. Sensei and Sho too. Yeah, me too. I mean, that was a misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding. The conversation suddenly changed, and not only Myron but also Sho was pressed, and Myron was finally pressured by the power of the girls and asked for help. Well, that's the thing, Minamata. Don't just look at me, do something. Somehow, you're really a troublesome person to the end, aren't you? Minamata, who seemed to have finally calmed down, but still had his head in his hands, gingerly pulled something out of his pocket and walked over to Sho. Kukomakuen. You know, you should choose your partner properly. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Minamata-san. I told you that was a misunderstanding. I didn't propose to her. I just asked Sensei to come with me to space. This made Dird and the others go, huh? Minamata was worried about Sho's future, thinking he's probably going to push through with this. Minamata was worried about Sho's future. And then, what are you doing at a time like this, you idiot? The enemy is already on the move. Minamata straightened up as M's shout rang out. Oh no, Kukomakuen. Huh, what? This belongs to you. Please take it. With that, Minamata handed me a silver key. Minamata-san? What is this key? It's the activation key for Banjo Island. What? Sho and the others all shouted in surprise at the unexpected answer. Key activation key? What does that mean? Anyway, hurry up and put it here for now. If the fleet over there gets somewhat closer, the people on Earth will indeed notice. If that happens, we'll be in trouble. Yes, I understand. As he was told, Sho put the key into the slot of the control panel and turned it. Vian. Immediately, a tremendous number of three-dimensional monitors were activated, and the entire image of the dimly lit room came into clear view. What the hell is this place? Sho, Dird, and the others were astonished. It was a small garden-like area, about the size of a school gymnasium. There were streams of clean water flowing here and there were even plants. What made it different from a normal garden, however, was that there were control panels and operator seats set up everywhere. Hey, is this the Bridge of A ship? It was Palti, who was looking around, who asked. Yes, it is. This Banjo Island, it's actually a spaceship camouflaged as an island. What? What had Minamata just said? Repeating the word in his head several times. Sho opened his big mouth and shouted. Ugh, a spaceship. Sho's eyes nearly popped out of his head in surprise, but to the alien Dird and the others, it wasn't much of a surprise. However, they were puzzled by another fact. Then, as a representative, Palti asked one thing. Minamata-san, is this ship Jurai's ship by any chance? Yeah, it's of 4th generation. Dird and the others froze, their eyes wide. In Jurai, there is a spaceship called Imperial Ship that has tremendous power. It is a devilishly feared ship for the pirates, who would surely be annihilated if they met any large fleet. To be precise, it is called the 1st to 3rd generations, and the younger the generation, the weaker the power. However, even the 4th generation has considerable power. The girls were astonished to know that fact. Actually, we're still adjusting, so we're not quite at our full potential, but we can't say that, can we? Well, can't I just surrender? He thought the war was finally over, but then this happened. To be honest, he didn't want to fight, so Sho asked, but Minamata gave him a weak look and said, if we give up, it means that Kukomakuen gives up. If that happens, the other side will proudly declare control of the country. And if we don't do something soon, the people of Earth will find out about the fleet and will be penalized greatly. Perhaps the country that Dird and the others have been able to create will be dismantled. Oh no. Sho was shocked, and Dird and the others interrupted him. So, we have to fight and win? I suppose the best thing to do would be to make them surrender. The other side can win or lose, and we can be penalized, or the situation can be reset and become chaotic again, and we're in trouble. That seems to be the goal. It would seem so, sir. Furthermore, depending on how we respond, the Galactic Federation's trust in us may be ruined. Sho still hadn't caught on, but he couldn't give in anyway. They were already on their way to Earth, so there was no way to escape. Then there was no other way left but to fight. Stop messing around and let's go beat up those terrorists. Let's go to space. Myron was in high spirits. But Minamata shook his head. That's right, but it's going to take some time to launch, having allowed nature to breed as the island. Besides, I'm sure you've already contacted all the places, but we don't have enough people to coordinate the launch. We can't just do it out of the blue. But if we don't force the launch, we'll lose. Dird followed Myron's lead. But there are a lot of animals and fish living on this island. And there's also a lot of fruitful fields. If the island were to be forcibly flown as a spaceship, what would happen to the flora and fauna of this island? Sho and the others could not argue with Durd's words. They all know firsthand how important the things that had been nurtured on this island were. But no matter how powerful the ship is, if it can't move, it's just a Mado. Sho struggled, unsure of what to do then. I see you're in trouble. But don't worry. We'll take care of it. Whoa. Mike. What are you doing here? And Ichiro-kun. Sho was startled by the sudden appearance of his friends, Mike said as he brushed his hair. Karusha and the others were alerted by an emergency alert, and they called for our class and everyone else on the island to help maintain the island. Well, the ship. We're all working together to evacuate the animals and create a compacted space that preserves as much of the island's environment as possible, so we should be able to move soon. Mike. I see. So Karusha, go to somewhere. Mike, that's awesome. That's awesome. You do that sometimes. I reviewed, just a little bit. I'm impressed with Mike. I'm not surprised you do it too. Oh, so you've done it, Mike. I really appreciate it. Sho and the others were impressed, and Mike brushed his hair and flashed his teeth again in a refreshingly cool manner. Nah, haha. It's a small price to pay for this. But since you all moved at Karusha's urging, Mike only has to report back to me like this. Ichiro. Isn't that tactless? Durd and the others sighed deeply at the flustered Mike. Nah. Mike is still Mike, isn't he? Oh no. I guess I missed out on the compliment. I disrespected a lot. I'll have you return the compliment, Mike. Oh no. Damn it. This was my chance to raise my stock. At such a scene, Sho couldn't help but let out a pft. But thanks to Mike, the atmosphere of desperation and tension dissipated, and Sho and the others were able to get back to their usual routine. A few moments later, Minamata received reports from various locations that the ship was ready for launch. The monitors were now showing the current status of Banjo Island, and Sho had been amazed by what he saw. The stone pillars around the shore had been replaced by turrets in their true form. I remember that the rocks in that area looked weirdly bare before, but that's what it was. Sho recalled that when he had been flying over the island for training, he had seen some of the stone pillars on the beach peeled off, with a metallic glow peeking out from inside. He hadn't paid much attention to it at the time, but he had never dreamed that the rock had been a turret. Okay, now we can launch at any time. At Minamata's words, tension once again filled the place. The owner of the ship is Kokoma-kun. So, you'll be the one to call for the launch. Oh, I'm the one? You're also the master. Come on, Kokoma-kun. Minamata gently pushed him back, but he couldn't speak. Tension gripped his body. His heart was beating wildly, and he couldn't calm down. Then Durd and the others all gathered around Sho. Don't worry, Sho. We've got your back. Yeah. Well, if we all go together, we can make it. Let's protect our island and the Earth together, okay? Come on, Sho, let's go into space. We'll follow you. Everyone. Durd, Aliyah, Apuesta, and Palti. The four of them were each smiling at him, and when he saw their expressions, he felt strangely energized. He felt like he could do anything. Here, Shokuen. I'll go to this event as I think it's a fitting way for us to start off. Payo. Myron-sensei, Payo. Haha. I feel like my nerves are melting away. Surrounded and supported by so many people. Sho uttered the words. Okay, Banjo Island, depart. With Sho's declaration, the tree behind them rustled. From the tips of its leaves, a nerve light like a laser beam shot out towards the terminal. Vong! Go 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 go. A tremendous earth-shaking sound echoed through the air. The island was starting to move. Okay, guys. Get the ship to invisibility. Then I'll make a hyperspace jump past the moon's orbit, surprise the enemy fleet approaching Earth, and bring it to a short battle. Minamata gave the command, and the four cabits moved to their respective positions, the control panels. Yes, sir. Wow, the world of science fiction. Sho thought that such a scene looked like a real spaceship, and then he thought again that this was real, and laughed a little. The invisible Banjo Island moved directly into space and came to the orbit of the moon. Sho was so overwhelmed by the images of space on the monitor that he forgot to breathe, but that wasn't the point now. Come on, we're about to jump. Everyone, get ready. Huh, yes. At Minamata's words, Sho and the others each tried to adjust their guardians. It would be easy to annihilate the enemy by force here. But they couldn't do that, because they are still important human resources as citizens of the new nation. The original purpose of the battle on Banjo Island was to avoid unnecessary fighting and to unify the nation in peace. To annihilate the opponent here and leave a grudge would be contrary to the philosophy of Sho and his team. At any rate, it was vital to show the other party that they could overcome any obstacle. For this reason, Minamata first made a surprise attack on the pirates attacking Banjo Island, and while they were confused, Dird and the others would use the Guardians to enter the enemy flagship. They proposed a plan to end the battle by forcing the commanders to surrender, and this plan was put into action. Okay, I'll do my best not to cause trouble for everyone. The truth is, Sho was scared, but he was determined to do his best. No, Sho. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Huh? Huh? Oh, I'm not allowed. Sho was stopped by Dird and Aaliyah, who both grabbed his hand. Sho is a representative of Earth. It's too dangerous to go. Apuesta is right, Sho. You are the one we need to protect the most right now. We can't let you go into the enemy ship. Besides, even with a certain amount of training, Sho is not a professional fighter in body or mind. Oh no. But then everyone will be. Sho was struck with anxiety, but Dird and the others all smiled and, "It's going to be fine, Sho. Just leave it to us and watch from on high. Yeah, we can't lose. Sho, please believe in us." The four of them said kindly, wiping away Sho's anxiety. Everyone, so Sho thought about what he should do. Then he calmly decided that he should follow the girl's instructions and nodded. Okay, I'll be waiting for you guys to get back. Yeah, understood. Okay, yes. The four of them smiled at him. Their smiles warmed Sho's heart. Then Cabot M turned to Dird and the others and said, "Oh wait. We'll maintain and strengthen everyone's armaments." Huh? Dird, Aaliyah, and Palti all chimed in as M looked at Apuesta and continued. "She's going to release the inventory of equipment she had." Apuesta? Are you sure? Hey, seriously? I'm not going to be able to pay you later, am I? Apuesta, is it good? Yeah, I'm not really in the mood for that right now. Apuesta was quiet, but when Sho and the others thought about what she was thinking when she nodded like that and offered her armament, their hearts burned. Minamata-kun, can't we at least help with this? We're still Shokuin's mechanics, you know. Shoone-chan and the others have to win, don't they? Yes. We can't let them lose, can we? Perfect maintenance. Everyone, haha, that's right. I'm sure he's already aware of that much. Minamata smiled, and the Cabots helped Dird and the others strengthen their maintenance. M, F, K, and D, Sho was impressed by the cooperation of the four Cabots, or rather, the girls. If everyone worked together like this, they might be able to do something. I have to work hard for that. He thought strongly.